In the one hand, in Surah Al-Hajj, in the beginning, Allah Azza wa Jal talks about people who have an agenda to misguide other people. Evil people who want nothing better than to just argue against Allah without any knowledge. مَنْ يُجَادِلُ اللَّهَ فِي اللَّهِ بِغَيْرِ عِلْمٍ وَلَا هُدًى وَلَا كِتَابٍ مُنِيرٍ. Somebody who argues about God and debates and hates on religion, hates on Allah, hates on the Prophet ﷺ, and has no knowledge why they're arguing, nor do they have any guidance, nor is it in light of any enlightened thinking. It's just complaints for the sake of complaining. And those kinds of people, it's not just enough that they're messed up. They can't sit still and until they mess somebody else up. They have to actually misguide somebody else. That's one group of people, but that's not the group of people I want to talk about today. It's the one after that group. The ones that are on the edge, literally on the edge. That's how the Quran describes them. وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَعْبُدُ اللَّهَ عَلَى حَرْفٍ. I would translate that as among people, there's somebody who worships Allah at the very edge. Harf is actually the edge of a cliff also. They're worshipping Allah, they worship Allah, but at the edge of a cliff. What does that mean? That means sometimes here, sometimes there. They're almost ready to fall off the cliff. They're not quite stable in their faith. They're not quite stable in their worship. They're not settled. They have unanswered questions, unresolved emotions. And so, how does that manifest itself? Allah describes Himself, فَإِنْ أَصَابَهُ خَيْرٌ اطْمَأَنَّ بِهِ. If some good comes to them, if something good happens in life, they're doing better now. Okay, Allah actually listened to this dua, so I can pray now. I feel better. وَإِنْ أَصَابَتْهُ فِتْنَةٌ. And if some fitna hits them, fitna means some kind of trial or something that tests their faith. Fitna literally means a test. So Allah did not put the opposite of khair as shar. Right? The in'ikas would have been shar. So you would have expected Allah to say, فَإِنْ أَصَابَهُ خَيْرٌ اطْمَأَنَّ بِهِ وَإِنْ أَصَابَهُ شَرٌ. Nope. وَإِنْ أَصَابَتْهُ فِتْنَةٌ. Why is that word important? Because Allah is letting us know that when something bad happens to you, that is just Allah putting your faith to the test. Allah just wants to see whether you're willing to believe in an Allah that still loves, that still cares, that is still Ar-Rahman, that is still Ar-Rahim, that is still Ar-Raziq. He's still the provider, He's still the protector, He's still the caretaker, even though you can't see it. Even though in front of you, you see like you've got hit with problems. And shaitan wants you to question, where is Allah? He wants you to ask that question. So Allah wants to put you in that circumstance sometimes to see how strong your faith is. By the way, this deen begins with الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ. They believe in an Allah who they cannot see. And by that doesn't just mean we don't see Allah. We don't see Allah's plan either. Allah doesn't lay out for you, here's how He's going to have you go about your day. And here's what, you're going through a difficulty now, but there's another ease coming in a few weeks or a few years or a few hours. We don't know. Is things are going to get better in the next minute, or things are going to take 10 years? We just don't know. Allah will not tell you that. وَمَا كَانَ اللَّهُ لِيُطْلِعَكُمْ عَلَى الْغَيْبِ. Allah is not going to be one to inform you of the plans of the unseen. He doesn't owe you that. All He's asking you to do is trust Him. Trust Him that He loves you more than you could possibly even love yourself. That He gets nothing out of punishing you or torturing you. Allah says, مَا يَفْعَلُ اللَّهُ بِعَذَابِكُمْ. What's Allah going to get out of punishing you? Why do you think Allah's out to get you? Allah literally asked that question Himself. So when you and I go through trials, that's actually to check and see because it's easy to believe in Allah when things are good. It's easier. But it's harder to believe, especially some of those names of Allah. The names of Allah that we hold on to in difficult times. It's harder to hold on to them when we get hit. When we believe Allah is the healer, that Allah owns all of Shifa, and His book is Shifa, and then you're sitting in the hospital with a terminal mother or a terminal father, that's harder to believe.